Good morning, campers. Welcome to Denton, Texas. We are parked doing a 34-hour reset, so let's do a quick truck tour. So interiors. Passenger seat, we got Mr. Sinclair. Likes to look out the window, so he's doing that. We got our planner, clipboard, map book, very important. Designated garbage bucket, bag of kitty litter. Kitty litter is good for traction in certain situations. Bleach wipes, good for cleaning. Manual transmission shift knob. So this is our Eaton Fuller 10-speed, so reverse, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, then you flip the range selector up, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But you leave it in neutral when you're parked. Unless you're starting the engine and need to put it in gear, because I don't have a good clutch brake. Of course, our tractor brake, trailer brake, nice little cubby for just storing stuff like AirPods for talking on the phone while driving, chapstick, nail clippers, etc. So our switches on the main console on the dash. Sorry for the curtain. It's bright outside. We have our sleeper light switch on here. This is all light switches up here. I really love this part of the T680. This is our marker light switch, so that's the lights above the windshield. So that's your 5 position lights on the top of the truck. It'll also control the lights at the top of the trailer. This is our headlight and parking light switch. So it's a 2-stage switch. So parking lights, headlights. Truck gets mad for having headlights on. This is our hazard light switch, which I don't want anyone outside to think I'm in distress. I don't know what went here. I suspect that Navajo, when this was a Navajo truck, I think they had their ELDs mounted here, because you can see these holes. The previous owner replaced that with this nice little fabric piece that you can stick Velcro stuff to. We've got a nice little gauge cluster here in the center. This is normally where you would have a screen for, like, if you had a navigation system on this spec of truck, but we don't have that. So we've got instead our boost gauge, which is your pressure and your turbo, rear axle differential temperature, ice cold. This is our suspension load, so that's PSI, and that tells you how much pressure is on your airbags on the suspension of the truck. It's useful for telling you roughly how much weight you have, but it doesn't do the math for you. You have to figure that out for yourself. On this truck, it seems like 60 PSI is about 34,000 pounds. Probably like 33,000, honestly. This is our front drive axle temperature. No idea why these two are in the positions they're in. It doesn't make much sense, but your front axle temperature here, rear axle temperature here. I think we could have put those in better spots, but that would have made sense, but whatever. This one, a little bit more important to me, just because I did have a brief oil leak on that axle, so I've got to keep an eye on my temperatures there. This is our transmission temperature gauge. Similarly, if you get oil leaks on any of these, you can catch the temperature spiking, so you know that you need to pull over before you do damage. As far as our switches here go, we've got our temperature controls, including a thermostat, so you can set it for auto and just pick a temperature and it'll try to hold that. We have this protected switch here is our that is our fifth wheel slider pin release, so that lets us slide our fifth wheel back and forth. This is our power divider lock, so that is the interaxle differential. That lets you lock the front drive axle and the rear drive axle together, so they turn together, so you don't get one axle spinning when you go over uneven terrain. Very useful. This is our suspension deflation switch, so you flip this up and all your airbags deflate under your drive axle. So that lowers your fifth wheel down, so you can hook up the trailers easier. Then you can raise the trailer up and get some pressure off the legs. Very handy switch when you're hooking up and disconnecting from trailers, or sliding your fifth wheel. This is our Regen Switch. This, when you have the truck parked and the engine running, you can flick this to force a regen, which burns off some of the soot on the diesel particulate filter over the exhaust. This is our 3-position engine brake switch, low, medium, high. For the engine brakes, this is the switch that turns the engine brakes on or off. I love how clicky these switches are. They're delightful. We've got our cruise control here. This is on and off for the cruise control. When you have the cruise control on, flicking this switch up sets your speed. Flicking it down resumes the previous speed you had set. If you already have a speed set, then up is plus, down is minus. So you can adjust the speed that you have set. There's our radio. Notice there's no CD player. It's purely Bluetooth and auxiliary input or USB input. No CD player. Very fascinating. I've never seen this particular model of radios, the DEA 500, which is really common in trucks. I've never seen this without a CD player. I've only seen the later versions, the DEA 700. I've seen that without a CD player, never this one. Fascinating. And also we've got a traction control switch here. I've so far only ever hit this by accident, but this can disable your traction control systems. So you can let your wheels spin if you're trying to get out of a muddy situation. Got your trailer brake, tractor brake. This is a rotary knob. This controls your menu on the main screen up here. Back button, select button is pushing the knob in. So that would, get out of the way. That would control this main screen here. So if we push this in, it'll actually wake that screen up. Yay. So then you can rotate that and get access to all the different screens on here. Very handy. Very handy indeed. This also has a speedometer on it, which is usually where I leave it. I wish it would default to that, but it doesn't seem to like that. As far as the gauges on the instrument cluster go, we've got brake application, we've got air pressures, depth gauge, speedometer, fuel gauge, tachometer, battery voltage, oil pressure, and water temperature, coolant temperature specifically. But they say water, so we'll say water. Sorry. As far as this light panel goes, pretty simple. This is just your brightness of your different gauges up here. So you can use this to. The previous driver had this at the minimum, so that if the headlights on the truck were on, this screen was basically blank, which was really annoying. It took me a minute to figure out that's what the reason for that was. This switch controls the lights in the forward section of the cabin. So you flick this up, then you get this lovely little red light in the footwell. If you push this up again, then you get these lovely little lights above the doors, which is useful for seeing while you're in the driver's seat. Those lights also come on with the doors opening and closing. This switch here is your light test switch. This will start cycling through your turn signals, your brake lights, headlights, and high beams. This, for some reason, on this particular T680, does not test your reverse lights. I've never seen that before. Every other Packard truck with a light test switch I've had does test the reverse lights, so weird. And this button is not a button. It's a lie. That button is a lie. This button is our work light. So I've got two lights on the back of the cab that I can turn on with that to see my airlines in the front of the trailer. So if I'm hooking up in the dark or something, I can use that to see what I'm doing. Really annoyingly, the previous driver put red bulbs in this light, which I'm sure looks cool, but it makes it difficult to tell what color things are, which is kind of important when you have to hook up airlines that are based on what color they are. Anyway. Again, this is a manual transmission, as we've gone through before, so you do have clutch, brake, throttle, pedals. Excellent. We do have a nice dumb steering wheel, no buttons on the steering wheel. Very, very heavily used steering wheel, which I will hopefully replace at some point, or at least get a cover for. So, standing up now, we've got our overhead panels. This is where CB radio will eventually go, but currently there's no where is it? There's no end on the antenna cable, so can't plug it in if I wanted to. But all right, we'll leave that there. So we'll figure that out later. I'll get a CB radio mounted here. This is a microphone hook. This is just a handy little hook for other things that I don't use for much yet. Sometimes I'll hang my coat here when I'm in the sleeper berth. I keep paper towels, a wallet. Really important, extra pair of glasses. If you are a truck driver in the United States and you require eyeglasses to drive, you must carry an extra pair in the truck with you, legally. That way if you break one, you have, wow, I have that really wedged in there. If you break one, you have an extra set that you can drive with. It's not really heavily enforced, but if you break your glasses and you get inspected, they're going to be like, where's your spare pair? We keep plastic bags up here. This is Pledge Wipes, multi-surface cleaners. We've got Clorox, Med Kit, Swiffer dusters, laundry detergent, lens wipes for the GoPro and my glasses and the camera on this phone. This is actually a cabinet that opens and closes, but I use the little latch thing there for the curtain because we don't have an actual curtain in this truck. We do have a curtain, but it's between the front and back, so I like having the other curtain hanging here. It's also hooked up to the sun visors. I like having that hanging there so that we can have a little more privacy, at least, in the front half of the truck. So I keep masks up here, as well as a glasses cleaning cloth and sunglasses. This is kind of the safety cabinet, as I call it. So we've got our socket wrench set, our extra socket wrench set with bigger sockets, our green book. We've also got our hard hat and ear protection, because some customers require hard hats, and then some customers are airports. So you want ear protection when you're at an airport, because jets are loud. Moving to the back, sitting on the bed, we do have a lovely pocket on the back of the driver's seat, which is usually where I keep the map book stashed, but I had to have it out and check it the other day. I keep my coats hanging on the passenger seat. Also, my safety vest is under here, so those hang on the passenger seat armrest. We've got a lovely cabinet to the right here. We got our, we do have a lovely table. This table can fold in and out. It rotates around, which you will see in a minute. This is a GoPro tripod. This table, I think, is I don't know what it's meant for. I just stash random stuff on it. It's got a strap, so I guess you could put the microwave here if you have one. That's our old GoPro microphone. I thought this was the microwave cabinet. This also has a spot for that strap to go. I would put the microwave here if I had one. I don't have one because I don't have a working APU yet, and I don't want to run a microwave off the engine. I just use this for bottled water, medications, snacks, bread. There's also room on top of this cabinet set for, I've got a laundry bag there, as well as my shower bag is behind it. We do have windows in the sleeper, so these, you can pull this little thing there and then slide the curtain open for a little extra sunlight, which is super nice. You can also, there's also a knob on that. You can rotate that and open that up and see, or get some air from outside. Got a matching one over here, plus reading lamps. Reading lamp. This side cabinet, we've got a closet, which is great. You got a place to hang stuff, but it's not very tall. So all my shirts wind up just laying on top of my socks. So that's annoying. But yeah, there's a shelf here. And then the bottom, pants, more socks, bedding is in the back there, sorry. Also my Kindle. And my backup battery for my cell phone charger. This is the refrigerator. I also keep, when I'm not driving, I keep my cell phone charger here. And memory cards for the GoPros. That's GoPro dash cam. I need to get some footage off the dash cam from an RV that tried to run me off the road the other day. That's why that's there. In the sleeper, we've got this lovely little cubby here, which is at night filled with electronics, personal electronics that I want within reach. My tablet, like, I can mount the tablet here, so it's kind of like facing the bed, so I can put on like a recording of rain or something. Let's look at this. So we do have our lovely alarm clock panel here, which is not particularly loud and can only have one alarm, so it's kind of useless, but hey, at least you know what time it is. This is your light switch for the sleeper. This is a direct copy of a switch that's on the dashboard, so it annoys me when they get out of sync. So I use this mostly to turn the lights off when I go to bed, rather than to turn the lights on. Then I use the switch up front to actually have the lights on. That way, when it's off, it's in the off position. This light switch controls that red light there. There's also a reading lamp there. It's a button on the switch that you can turn on and off, but that red light is almost useless, but it aims at the table. Turns that drink redder, but that's already a red drink, so that doesn't really show that well, but yeah, whatever. This is your door locks. I love that switch. So if you climb into bed and you're like, I don't remember if I locked the doors or not, you can just unlock the doors. This is your temperature controls when the engine is running. This controls your heater, air conditioning, fan speed, and that's the stuff that comes out of that vent there. So this is our APU controls. The APU is not currently working. Previous driver didn't really stay up on maintenance, and I think it needs a new alternator belt. But I can't really open it up, so I'll get that worked on probably next time we're in Montana. See if we can't get this thing working. So right now it's just a 500-pound paperweight on my frame, so not great. But hey, at least we've got a free APU that we might be able to get working. If I can't get it working, I'll just get it removed. Not that big a deal. This is a 12-volt socket, so you got power here for the tablet. And then I have no idea what this is. Honestly, no idea. But that's a future problem to figure out. It might be the bunk heater, because the APU definitely didn't seem to be able to produce any heat during the brief time it worked. Tablet. Back to this side, we do have a 12-volt power on that. You can also see where there used to be a TV mounted there, but we don't have a TV. So the foot of the bed, I just use, I keep garbage bag hanging on this thing. This is a vent. Boom. Air from outside. Love it. There's one at the head of the bed as well. Equally useful. They flip in both directions, so it's that way or that way, so you can get air no matter which way the wind is blowing. That's also an emergency exit. If you lever that down, this whole panel pops off and you can escape into the wild and be free of this world. I don't know what I'm doing. That's pretty much everything for the interior of the truck. Oh, we do have a drawer under the fridge full of peanut butter. And also my inverter. So that's got 2 USB ports, 3 power outlets. Very handy. Also tells me what the charge on the battery is, so I know when I need to turn the engine on and recharge it. That's pretty much it for the interior. We do have some under bunk storage. That's mainly got my brooms down. Well, my broom is down there. Extra coolant, wiper fluid, 5th wheel puller, safety cones. Safety cones, very important. Those are down there. There's a log outside that I might throw in there just for a joke later. When I get my logs inspected, I can pull out the log and be like, here's my log, driver, or officer. And then I'll get arrested. But yeah, no, I might grab that. That's pretty much it for the interior. We do have a top bunk. I keep it folded up. It does contain currently my air mattress, which is constantly trying to escape. But I am too tall. See, this is like right about head level for me. And then when the bed is down, that's like down here. So if I had the bed down, I would be hitting my head on it all the time, which would be annoying. So I keep it stashed upright. So I'm missing out on some storage space because of that, but it's okay. I'll be fine. Oh, and that binder is just full of documents. That's all my trip logs, my trip sheets. I don't have trip sheets. I've got bills of lading, trip information, receipts, etc. I promise to show you the table. Pivoting closed. I keep it rotated out when I'm actually like hanging out in the sleeper berth, just because my feet go here, and there's not a ton of space between the bed and the thing, so my feet hit that if it's like this. But we do have some more storage underneath there. My laptop is in here, and I've got some documents in the other one. And they've got these handy little bars, so stuff that's stashed there won't just fall out every time you go around a corner. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. Welcome to the truck. This is Harold. I hope you liked him. We do have some tools and stuff stashed down next to and around the seats. I do not have the passenger seat that rotates around. This truck does not have that, so it would be useful, especially with the pull-out table, but we do not have that feature. So, anyway, that's been Harold. Thank you all so much for watching. You can find me on the internet at Eliodare, Xbox Live, Steam, Nintendo Switch, etc. And Twitter's the best place to get a hold of me, or you can leave comments below the videos, because I'm a tiny channel and I do read them all. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.